I've got George Blaha and Bill Laimbeer here. They saw the game. We're going to roll the tape again. You've had about 5 or 10 minutes to let this digest. Have you ever seen anything like this in sports?
Never, ever in my life. It's the ugliest thing that I've ever seen. And as Larry Brown said in his post-game news conference, and Bill and I have discussed off air, a lot of things happen between the lines, but you got to keep it on the floor somehow.
Billy's here. You've had moments in your life where there's been hectic moments as a player, but you have never seen anything like this. Can you remember anything about going back to high school, college, or anywhere along the way?
I'm not in basketball. Like George says, on the court you can have all the fights in the world. You sort out the fines and suspensions after the fact. That's just intense, heated rivalries. But when you get into the stands and you really that's the cardinal taboo of any professional sport. You cannot go in the stands and attack fans no matter what they say or what happens. And this is going to be just a very brutal suspension and fines for substantial.
Let me bring up just a point that no one's touched on. Was there enough security here? Was security an issue here? Because obviously
you can't stop something that happens on the spur of the moment like that. And actually there was very few people left in the stands. They're all gone. So, it's just one of those things that when a player loses it and goes in the stands and his teammates follow, it happens so fast, there really is nothing you can do. The whole incident probably took place in a span of 3 minutes over a course of 150 feet, and security can't stop that.
What happens next? What do you say if you're the commissioner and you see this tape and you're, 8 games into this season and your game has been nationally televised also tonight, not only here but across the country?
If you're David Stern, you just got to shake your head and say, did this really and truly happen? Things have gone so well for him in this league for so long, and this isn't going to stop the National Basketball Association. This won't stop the fans from coming to the Palace, but this is an eyesore right now. This is nothing you want to deal with, and I think there are going to be some lengthy suspensions. I mean, I can't even imagine how long they're going to be, and I do think this too. This could probably result in a little different kind of crowd control, Bernie.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, let's face it, these fans at the Palace who did what they did were part of the action. They picked the fight, and no, you shouldn't go after them, but you have some responsibility as a fan as well. And I know that they love the Pistons, and you always hate the other guy, right, especially if he's Ron Artest. Right. But there is a place to draw the line.
Well, for Artest, now he's going to have time to go promote that rap album, don't you think? I mean, he'll get a lot of time off here. If you're a commissioner, you're looking at that tape, what are you thinking? 10, 20 games?
At least 10. My guess is 20 games, and it may be a whole season worth, just because of the way his past checkered history has been. They do take that into account, and this may be a whole season worth.
Ben Wallace, that to you was the right kind of retribution that Ben Wallace gave him for that foul with 45 seconds left. Yeah,
Ben's will get to take a fine and maybe get a 1-game suspension for doing something like that. But, he had to stick up for himself. That happens in sports. You get really emotional, especially when you get trounced like this. And, Ben's an emotional guy. But, the Pistons didn't go in the stands. Indiana did. So that's the biggest thing.
Stand by for 1 second. I just want to play Larry Brown, his take on the whole thing. And then I'm going to come back. I have a question for you. Here's Larry Brown.
Ben didn't throw a punch. He pushed. And unfortunately, fans got involved, and that was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life as a coach or a player.
This game show, he said basically the same thing. But as a coach, if you have a player and that happens, what do you do? How do you bring your team back together?
Well, right there you try to stop it. Barry Brown's injured. He can't stop it. But after the fact now, Indiana's got some problems. They're going to have major suspensions. They're going to decimate their team for a period of time. They're just going to have to try to stick together and get through it.
Yeah, I'm watching Larry Brown. I mean, he's barely able to get out to the bench, and then you've got this brawl going over his head and other people being hurt on press row there, and even fans also. I mean, this is one of the uglier moments I've ever seen in this building, and one of the most unfortunate.
And the coaches on both teams did their best to stop it. You saw Rick Carlisle and Mike Brown run into the stands trying to slow that thing down. Even our erstwhile radio commentator Rick Mahorn was there trying to slow things down and somehow stop. I think that guy already become an awful scene.
We think he got the wrong guy, though. I think it was the guy with the white hat there that launched the original one. We think on the replay. We'll take a look at it again later. But you can just see that there's just no end in sight. I mean, once it starts and you've got 12 players going at each other, and whatever crowd is left over here, And Artest is taking shots and then going.
Yeah, well, that's, you get in a battle like that, and there's so many people around you, you don't know who's your friends and who's your enemies, and at that point, you're just trying to protect yourself.
All right, gentlemen, when's the next meeting between these two teams? And will there be metal detectors on the benches? And what's going on,
How about this? It's Christmas Day in Indianapolis.
Oh, is that right? Yep. Christmas Day. Well, I don't see you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's great seeing you. Thank you so much for stopping. Great seeing you. Enjoyed it. George, always a pleasure. Yeah,
great to be with you.
Great to be with you. Thanks so much.